This place is located outside the capital city of Atlan Empire at Baron Pelle's mansion. A woman looks outside the window and a maid tells Lady Luna that her guests are coming. The maid hesitates and mentions that the guest seems a little strange. Luna tells her it's okay, Laura. She steps out and says that she will let herself go out there. Luna thinks to herself that she was wondering when she would arrive, but now she's finally here. The guest says oh my, because she's not a very public person. She wondered whether to come here directly or not. She came here today because she has got something to say to Lady Luna Pelle. Luna says long time no see, Lady Flory. She says first, let's come inside, shall they? Flory makes a grumpy face and with a grunt says Luna Pelle. That shameless attitude of hers will be ended today. Whispers are heard saying oh my god, what a decrepit mansion. Is it going to crash down soon? Even adding more decoration. It doesn't look anything different than usual. She'll believe it if they tell her this is a house for commoners. One of the women behind whispers to the other saying isn't this enough to return back the title? The other woman says that's right. This is such a shame for the nobles. Flory says oh my, they too. Don't say something like that. Lady Pelle is really trying hard to restore the clan. So that's why she's been clinging to Sir Rodrian? How shameless. Flory smiles and Luna is left startled. She says to herself that she's now no longer hiding her true self. Does she really look that easy? She should have known. These rich ladies aren't here to chat. Their true purpose is to grab her hair and beat her up. Why does she turn out to be like this? All of this is because of the heir to be the next Duke Rodrian. Fen Rodrian. Because she's his childhood friend. Luna smiles to herself and says ah Fen. That's right Fen. As she makes a very pissed off face saying to herself that it's all because of that unmannered bastard. Luna introduces herself saying that she's famous as a poor person in this empire, the one and only daughter of Baron Pelle. Luna as a baby calls out her mama and papa. She stumbles on something and says to show how poor her family is because there weren't so many candles at the hall she always stumbled and fell like this. Even so, the maid and the dad open their door rushing in. The mother asks sweetie, is she okay? Come back to the room with mama, alright? Luna says that thanks to her gentle parents and their nice servants, she has never felt upset even though there was no money. But her childhood happiness didn't last for long. Her life started to be dramatic. That's when she started her very first steps. As the door opens and Luna steps in, Luna gets startled by a voice saying if that girl is Luna Pelle in the rumor? Oh my good, look how old is that dress. Even the commoners aren't that poor. She heard that her personality is not good either. Even being so poor, she at least still needs to keep her dignity. How is she a girl with that appearance? Poor the Baron. One of the women says guys, have they heard of this? Lady Pelle is trying to restore her clan. Flory says that she's the childhood friend of Sir Rodrian. What a low-level person, isn't it? They keep on talking about what that is. Does she even know her place? If she clings to the young master, the Duke will lower down. So that's why her family is so poor like that. Luna clenches her cloth and says those rumors about humbling her started to spread. Finally, they started to aim their bad deeds at the Baron. The Baron was burned by an unknown fire. The only carriage was destroyed. These horses he raised ate poisonous grass and died gradually. Unlucky events continued to happen. Luna thinks to herself why? Why did they have to do all of this? She clenches her teeth and asks herself what did her family ever do to them? Why does she have to deal with all of this? Why exactly? The maid calls out Lady Luna. Luna asks what is it? Laura? Laura, while hesitant, says that there was a letter sent to her, but she felt it a little odd. Luna asks odd? One day, a rather odd letter was sent right to her. Luna reads the letter and was horrified. In the letter it says that they are warning her, Luna Pelle, if she doesn't back down from Sir Fen immediately, they'll kill her. A letter written by blood. That was a big shock to her. She remembered those untrue memories that she had forgotten. She, Luna Pelle, is a childhood friend of the male lead Fen Rodrian, knowing absolutely nothing about why she's obsessed with him, becoming the one who is going to be dead soon. The supporting character, revived as the antagonist of the novel. As Flory was yapping, Luna thought to herself that so she knows exactly the reason why those people bully her. From what she remembers, the reason why they bully her was clear. Because of Syra Granada, the female lead of the novel that she revived to. In the original novel, Luna Pelle was jealous of her being Fen's girlfriend. And those people really adore Syra. For the good sake of relationship between Syra and Fen, they always harass the antagonist Luna, leading to the murder which later is covered as an accident. While they were ranting, Luna thinks to herself that it's clear that Luna in the novel is an antagonist. She thought this end was paying for what she had done, but Flory screams asking if she heard what she said. From now on, stay away from the young master. Lady Granada is crying a lot. How cold-hearted is she? Luna gets pissed off and says to herself that if she really does that then she won't feel any regret. Luna says good, this time let her get this straight. She absolutely doesn't give a flip about that young master, alright? She's the type of person who hates childhood relationships. Does she understand? Luna looks at them with a glare. Florrie coughs and says she won't believe that lie of hers. Luna says let's see. She told her that she doesn't give a flip. That Fersen bastard is like a dog's waist. Florrie, all pissed, asks her dog's waist. Not only did she lie but also insulted him. She'll tell that to the young master. Luna says that's good. Deliver her words to him too if she's going anyway. Fersen, no need to meet a guy like him no more. The one that every noble in the empire is afraid of. A maniac without a heart and tears. With a weird smile Luna says that she'll date Auntess Vincent. The women were left startled. They were left speechless. Luna thinks to herself that if so, they won't disturb her ever again. Luna steps out and says to Laura that the guests want to leave. It's getting late, so take good care of them, alright. Florrie, all pissed off, turns back and says why is there a mad woman like this? That lowly poor woman, not only did she lie, but also she insulted him. Just you wait, Luna Palais. Luna slams open the door saying to herself that she's pissed. She asks herself why is there no one listening when she keeps telling them the only way left. If she were observant, then nothing like this would happen. Luna writes on a letter that so Fersen, a male lead, likes him. She doesn't even want to take him if she's given to her. The letter says that dear Fersen, an unnecessary person, if he doesn't want to be in danger, please skip and toss away things like childhood friends. She'll cut off with him. Luna. Fersen was confused and said what? Why cut off suddenly? Why Luna? Yesterday, she sent a letter of severance to Fersen. Now, no matter what happened, she won't be bothered anymore. She thinks to herself that of course, their outrageous behavior won't stop. But because Syra and she are worlds apart in the novel, if there is one heroine who receives everyone's affection, then there will also be a villainess who is hated without reason. Luna thinks to herself that if she has to be bullied like this for her whole life, then the only thing she needs to do right now is money. As Luna smirks, Luna says of course, it's just money. Luna laughs saying if she has this sheepskin, a chance to get rich overnight is right before her eyes. Luna smiles and says that thinking back, since it's an important matter, maybe she should tell Dad first. Luna yawns and was startled to see it was Fersen. Luna exclaims his name. She thinks to herself what's going on. Why is that guy at her house? Yesterday, those girls, didn't she tell Fersen to pass on her message? Luna yells at him asking what is he doing here. She clearly requested to sever ties. Fersen asks if Luna sent the letter. Of course she did. That was clearly just a joke. Luna really is quite the joker. Fersen claps for her and Luna is just standing there. Luna gets pissed off and thinks to herself that truly foolish, but even worse than what she read in books. Since realizing this is the world of the novel, she has been doing her best to avoid Fersen. Luna is sitting in her garden and she thinks to herself that despite her efforts, Fersen jumps in. He asks if she likes playing hide and seek so much. As long as he can play with Luna, he'd do anything. Luna tells him to get out of here. She says to herself that this person has no shame left at all. Luna thinks to herself that damn author. What kind of protagonist is this? A voice is heard saying Luna. She looks unwell. Where does it hurt? Luna turns and asks what is he talking about. Fersen says oh here it is. The man says good morning, my daughter. He guesses she already said good morning to young sir, says Baron Palais. Fersen exclaims Baron. And Luna tries to explain her dad something. The dad lets out a huge smile for Fersen and says Rodrian young sir, still visiting the estate today. Her daughter. He is indeed her only friend. Fersen and the dad shake hands and Fersen laughs saying of course. Luna is a precious friend of his. Luna says this is her gentle father. Unlike her, who has a good reputation in noble circles. There is also no major conflict with anyone. Luna nervously thinks to herself that yes, her father is truly good. But her father has a very serious flaw. His business acumen is at a desperate level. Because of listening to others, he often gets led around like a chicken. Unlucky hands that never bring any fortune. The dad laughs asking what? Is there a rumor about her daughter and young sir? Because they are too close, misunderstandings have occurred. Luna says that to the extent that even someone without eyes, like Fersen, her father can't even dream of managing the family estate. Currently, he is doing simple paperwork at the Duke Rodrian's estate. Thus it's unavoidable that her father seems weak compared to him, just like the son of a superior at work. But she is having a headache over that damn guy. Please consider her daughter's position a little. Fersen says that if that's the case, then the Baron, in the evening he'll bring the Baron by carriage. Luna was stunned. She said wait a minute. What? Fersen says oh today the Baron will go to work and come back with him. So see you in the evening. He'll also buy dessert. Luna was speechless but was very pissed off. She says to not even care about severing ties. And then act like this? Luna clenches her fist and calls out Laura. Laura nervously says yes. Luna says that since they have a distinguished guest coming in the evening, prepare extra seating. Finally, in dinner time, Fersen talks about how indeed, the Baron's estate is always warm and comfortable whenever he comes. He really wants to stay the night and leave only in the morning. The father laughs and says that's good. It's been a while. Why not stay over for the night? Luna sighs and thinks to herself, good at what? Exactly. Because of him, she doesn't even know how many times she has been scolded. The father says, but Luna, what's that blank space for? A butler says, miss, the guest has arrived. Luna stands up and says it seems like he arrived right on time. Fersen said arrived? Who's coming? Luna walks out and says who else could it be? It's the person he'll like to death. Fersen was startled and says it's the guest. Miss Syra? Syra takes his name. 5 minutes have passed since the dreadful silence began. Fersen says cheerfully that the guest Luna invited is Miss Syra. Syra says yes. And silence erupts again. Luna thinks to herself, what's with this atmosphere? This isn't what she expected at all. She invited a girlfriend to distract Fersen's attention. What on earth happened? These guys are the main couple who should be all lovey-dovey. The problem starts with that guy not taking care of Syra. Is this the time to be building rapport with her father? Fersen says to Syra that does she know that Luna threw a cake at him? What an incorrigible prankster. Huh? Syra giggles and says yes. It's funny. Luna in her head thinks that she's doomed. Instead of pouring water, she poured oil on the fire. The dad asks, hey Fersen, what kind of cake does Lady Granada like? Fersen says that Miss Syra can't eat cake due to her allergies. It's unfortunate she can't enjoy tea time with them, but there's no helping it. The father says that he didn't know the lady had allergies. Syra says that it's not severe, so it's alright. Fersen says still, it's fortunate that Luna likes cakes a lot. Luna thinks to herself about how clueless can he be? Syra is truly amazing. To understand and love a guy like that. If Syra didn't have such an angelic personality befitting the heroine, Fersen might not have had a happy ending. Luna thinks to herself, if isn't she practically a saint? A voice is heard saying Luna multiple times till Luna actually wakes up. Fersen sighs and asks if she knows how many times he called her. This isn't going to work. Luna says what? Fersen says that he sensed something was off since she sent the letter yesterday. She has some worries she can't easily share with even a friend like him, right? Fersen with a smile says that he'll stay overnight at the Baron's house. He'll stay up all night listening to her worries. Luna yells at him telling him not to say such dreadful things, and think it over. Is he really going to send the lady home alone on this dark night? Fersen says that Miss Syra has maids and knights with her, right? If she's scared of going home they can escort her and return, right, Miss Syra? Syra trembles, and Luna yells at Fersen asking what on earth is he. Syra stands up and starts sobbing. Luna was speechless. She yells at her to please wait a moment and to not go. Lady Granada! Luna yells at her to please listen to her. She thought that guy knows she thought Fersen would obviously return home with her. She apologizes for today, but she really didn't know it would turn out like this. Syra asks she didn't know? Luna thinks to herself, of course not. Would she have invited her if she knew? Luna says that because of how close her father and Fersen are, she didn't pay attention to. Syra says as expected, she figured it out. Syra asks if she didn't think she wouldn't notice. Her friends warned her when she was invited by her. They said that woman could never have invited her with good intentions, either to drive a wedge between her and Fersen, or if not that, now not only with Fersen, she wants to leech off her too. Syra slaps her on her face and tells her to not interfere with her and Fersen anymore. She'll give her as much money as she wants, so take it and get lost. The woman behind her checks on her asking she's alright. The woman starts asking what on earth happened at the Baron's house. That woman has blatantly demanded money from her. How shameless. Now she's even after her money. She must have no conscience at all. Fersen yells out Luna. Fersen asks how could she leave without a word. She scared him. Luna tells him to get out. Fersen says what? He didn't hear her. Luna tells him again to get out. She said to get out. Luna screams that both of them, right now, get out of her sight. She steps on the money and asks why does she have to go through this. Fersen asks why is she suddenly getting angry. Luna turns her head and walks away. Fersen tells her to wait. Luna says to herself that she never had any expectations from Fersen from the start. He's a guy who lacks all sense, but she never expected Syra to be like this too. She totally understands being upset after seeing Fersen, but to disrespect her like that? She thought she was a kind and good-hearted heroine, but in the end even Syra looked down on her. Luna says that she's done being disrespected by money. With this parchment, no, with these documents, A huge amount of money will be at her hands. A man yells out asking how can that be? Does he think business is a joke? How dare he snatch away his share? He has no sense of business ethic. The blonde man says that he doesn't think he's the one to say that. He decided on the commission rate without consulting them. He sighs and says an unfair contract deserves an equally unfair response. Their guild just responded in kind. The man is annoyed and says he'll regret treating him like this. The blonde guy asks regret. Does that mean he's going to retaliate against the Antares guild? The man freaks out and says to just wait and see. He will definitely. He bumps into a bodyguard and asks who's there. Open his eyes and walk. The bodyguard asks what? The man says that he'll walk with his eyes wide open and sprints out. The blonde guy asks what's going on. The bodyguard says that some noblewoman is here looking for him, sir. She said her name is Luna Pillay. The blonde guy gets a little startled and asks himself if she's another person tied up with that guy. There's a swarm of flies today. Let her in. Luna looks out the carriage and thinks to herself that it's been such a long time since they have come this far. Her family only holds a title in name and they were always struggling, so there's never any money for travel. Luna nervously thought to herself that when spring comes, leaving the house means spending. Luna thinks to herself that but she's not going to live like a pauper anymore. This will change everything soon. This document in her hand is the deed to part of the Pillay estate. Not long ago, without her father knowing, she bought a portion of the Pillay estate under her name. Since it was just a barren mountain, she could afford it with the little money she had. But this seemingly useless land had a secret that no one knew about. That secret was a gold mine. Luna thinks to herself that of course she'll need a lot of workers for the mine, but if things went as they did in the original story, she would have never known about the gold mine in their estate and lived a life of poverty until death. But that's just the story in the original. As long as she knows this information, that won't happen. Her life as a pauper ends now. The scene cuts to Luna asking this is the right place, right? A man says what? A young lady traveling alone from the capital to her estate? So she's looking for a merchant group to hire as escorts. Does she know of any good ones? The man thinks to himself and tells her to go to the merchant group in front of the three-way intersection. They'll welcome her warmly. Luna asks, really? Thank you. Luna thinks to herself that his tone was a bit suspicious, but he introduced her to a surprisingly decent place. Luna enters a room and chatters are heard. Luna says, excuse me. The man turns and Luna says that she's here to meet the head of the merchant group. Could he guide her? The man shakes his hand and says, what? Are you kidding me? Young lady, it seems she has mistaken the shop. Go back quickly. Luna says no. She's here on business. She was referred here by the carriage rental place. The man sighs and says she's persistent. He told her they don't entertain pranks from kids like her. She looks so shabby and she calls herself a customer. Luna gets pissed off and the man says fine. If she understood, then leave. Luna says she refuses. The man asks what? Luna says judging by the way he treats their customer, she can see the level of this merchant group. Luna says that she's Luna Pillay. She's going to be an important client of this group, so he should remember her well while she still has the chance. If he misses out the cash cow, that's her because of his pathetic lack of insight. She's sure his boss will be very pleased, so guide her in right now. The man gets startled and says that at least he'll show her in. The man knocks at a door saying boss. He has brought the young lady he mentioned earlier. Luna thinks to herself that if she succeeds in hiring the merchant group, half of her plan will be achieved. She hopes she can communicate well with the boss. Luna walks in and says what? No one's here. Don't tell me that bald guy tricked her? The blonde man says Miss Luna Pillay. She wants to hire their merchant group? Luna was flustered by his beauty and says what? He's totally handsome. Luna says to herself that no, this isn't the time for that. Luna says yes. She needs mercenaries to escort her to the Pillay estate. They'll need to stay for a day or two and help out as laborers as well. It's a demanding request, but she'd like to pay the fee after. The man with a glare says that he can't believe he's hearing such a request from someone he has never met before. Moreover, she could have gone to her wealthy lover, Rodrian, instead of coming all the way here. Luna, shocked, asks herself what? Who said who was someone's lover? Her with that guy, person? Luna says that she never imagined she'd hear such nonsense from someone she has never met. Luna says that's absurd. The man says she doesn't know what she's talking about. Rodrian talks about her all the time, and she expects him to believe she's not lovers? Luna thinks to herself that Fersen is such a scumbag. Luna says absolutely not. That guy she means. Rodrian already has a lover. The blonde man asks then why is he acting like. Luna says that he's completely out of his mind. He's delusional enough to think everyone loves him, and he's a nuisance to everyone around him. Someone who only thinks about himself. She wouldn't want him even if he was given to her. The blonde man says that she seems to dislike Rodrian more than he has heard. Luna says yes, she really does. She wishes he would just disappear from her sight forever. The blonde man says well, he thinks that explains it well enough, right? Luna sighs and says they have got off topic somehow. She knows her request is unreasonable, so she'll just go to another merchant group. The blonde man says that he'll take her request. Luna asks what? He says that he felt a bit of camaraderie with her. Miss Palais. Follow him. He'll introduce her to their mercenaries. The blonde man asks if everyone is having a good rest. The mercenaries bow down and say boss, he's here. The blonde man says yes, he has got someone to introduce. This is Miss Luna Palais, their new client. The mercenaries bow down and say nice to meet you, Miss. The blonde man says now, let him officially introduce her. Welcome to their Ontes merchant group. Luna's eyes light up. She thinks to herself, what? Did she just hear that wrong? This is the notorious psychopath, the Ontes merchant group, the one she heard about. Luna asks what kind of place is the Ontes Trading Company. It's known as the place backed by Ontes Vincent, the novel's ruthless villain. The trading company was even named after him. Furthermore, there's a rumor that they pay tribute to him, which makes people view them with suspicion. And she came to such a place on her own? The man asks why does she look so worried? Feel free to relax as if she's at home. Luna nervously says thank you. She thinks to herself, what should she do? She can't cancel the contract now. The man stands up and bows down, saying he deeply apologizes for his earlier rudeness. The man thinks to himself, what's this about? Luna says to not worry, it's nothing. She thinks to herself that well, that person was rude, but she doesn't want to embarrass him in front of everyone. The man explains that miss, please entrust any matter into them. They will help her with all their sincerity. That's right. There's nothing the Ontes Trading Company can't do. Just trust them. All of them start laughing like maniacs. Luna thinks to herself that this is overwhelming. The blonde guy says her complexion doesn't look good. Is she okay? Luna says yes. It's just she's worried if she can travel safely with these people. The blonde guy says that although they may look a bit rough, they're professional mercenaries, so there's no need to worry. Luna says that's reassuring. She thinks to herself that yes, she doesn't have time to find another trading company now. She'll just keep a low profile until the business is done. She absolutely must not get deeply involved with the blonde guy. 3 hours after she made that decision, the men says for Lady Luna Palais, cheers! One of them asks how did she get revenge on Lord Rodrian. Luna exclaims how he asks. She threw a cake in that guy's face and turned him into a mess. The men giggle and say that's truly satisfying. They hand her a beer saying here, have another drink. Luna thinks to herself that as she complained about Fersen, she somehow became friends with them. The men exclaims that to think such vile rumors spread about her. Miss, it must have been so tough to be mistaken for that guy's lover. The other men says right, they should set the record straight. Luna chuckles as they say that's a great idea. The blonde guy approaches her asking what does she think. They're not as bad as she thought, right? Luna says yes, really. It's been a long time since she has been warmly welcomed by someone. The blonde guy says that's good to hear. They probably feel a sense of camaraderie with her now. Luna asks a camaraderie? She thinks to herself that come to think of it, all the mercenaries in the trading company immediately opened up and treated her kindly as soon as she said that she truly hates Fersen. Did they have some past issues with Fersen? Like she did? If so, that would make sense. The blonde guy asks what is she staring at? Did she fall for his face? Luna says, no, that's not it. The blonde guy chuckles and says, really? He must have been mistaken. Luna shyly says that there's something she's curious about. The blonde guy asks, what is it? Ask her anything. Luna says well and says that no matter how much she thinks about, she can't understand. Why does he keep talking to her informally? The blonde guy was left stunned. The blonde guy says what? The men walk in and ask why does that matter? Exactly, who cares about the way they speak? Don't worry about it. Luna thinks to herself, what are they saying? How can she just let this slide? Talking informally when they have met is just unacceptable. The blonde guy says well, it's true that he hasn't been polite to her as the daughter of a baron. Luna says it's okay, now that he has realized it. The blonde guy says but he's not really used to using formal speech. He never learned how to, so he doesn't really know how it works. How about they just talk casually to each other? Luna says what? That's nonsense. No way. She refuses. Really? That's a shame. The blonde guy asks can't they work something out? Please, Lady Luna? Luna blushes and she says to herself that she thought this from the moment she first saw him, but his looks are on par with the protagonist, Fersen. And whether it's because of his looks or not, this man is really. Luna with a glare says that she still refuses. Suspiciously shameless. Silence erupts. The blonde guy sighs and says it seems like she still doesn't trust him enough. If that's the case, how about he makes her an offer? The blonde guy says so that she can feel secure about her request. Their Ontes trading company will provide her a guarantee. He's talking about royal certification. Luna was left startled. She thinks to herself that he's bringing up royal certification. This is literally a high-priced insurance backed by the royal family. This insurance is unfair to the policyholder. This insurance provides compensation and complete support from the royal family in case something goes wrong for the contract. Such a massive thing, why would he? Luna asks why is he doing this much for her. The blonde guy says well, because he wants to keep speaking informally. Everyone was left puzzled. At that moment in the Rodrian estate, Fersen quietly looks out. He gets a flashback on him saying what? Luna's gone? The father says yes, she went down to the Palette territory for a vacation. Fersen says but there's nothing there. Is there? The father says that's true, so she probably went to Vincent's estate. Fersen asks so when will Luna be back? The father says well, he's not sure about that. Fersen thinks to himself why did she go without saying a word to him? They are closer than anyone else. Her finances aren't great so she probably won't be gone long. But he can't help worrying. Fersen says hey, you. The butler says yes, young master? Fersen says to prepare the carriage immediately. They are leaving at once. Fersen thinks to himself that lately, Luna has been acting strange. Ever since they were young, Luna has always been kind and gentle to him. But these days, she keeps getting angry and saying she hates him. Why does she keep telling such lies? Luna? Fersen gets hit with a thought. He asks himself if could it be? Is she preparing a surprise party for him? Fersen in his thoughts says Luna she really didn't have to do this far. Fersen thinks to himself right, there's no way Luna could hate him. They are each other's most precious friends. Luna startles and starts falling back. She asks herself what was that? She just had a really unpleasant feeling. Ontes holds her from the back asking if she's okay. Her complexion suddenly looks so bad. Luna backs off nervously and says she's fine. She just felt like Fersen was nearby. The blonde guy asks how much has she been through. Ontes oh right, let him introduce him. This person is an auditor sent from the imperial court. They'll be accompanying them for a few days. Luna says nice to meet you. She thinks to herself what the? He really did get imperial certification? At first, she honestly didn't believe it but they've assigned mercenaries she has seen before. And just like she asked, they haven't taken a single penny of the advance payment yet. And all this just so he can speak informally to her. Luna says excuse me, what's your name? They have made a contract, but she still doesn't know his name. She has to accompany him for a few days, which is inconvenient. The blonde thinks to himself and says how about calling him captain? Then, that's what his subordinates call him. Luna was confused and turned her head saying gosh, if he doesn't want to tell her, just say so. Luna thinks to herself that seriously, she can't figure out what he's thinking. The blonde said huh? Luna thinks to herself that he's really a strange person. Luna sighs and says to herself that they will even arrive safely at this rate. The blonde asks if this is the destination she mentioned. Lady? Luna says yes, they have arrived correctly. The Palais Estate Rocky Mountain region. The blonde says but what exactly is she planning to do in this barren place? Is she planning to collect some quality rocks? Luna says that he's pretending not to know right? Luna says obviously they're going to mine. The blonde says that at first glance it looks like an ordinary rocky mountain, but she knows what's buried here, right? Luna with confidence says of course. Today, they'll just do a little trial digging, and later they'll officially hire workers to dig it out. Well, that's all for the explanation. Luna looks at the mercenaries and says let's start the fun work now. Shall they? The workers say yes ma'am, and after some time passed, one of the mercenaries hit something and was confused. He picked it up and says could it be? The blonde says that even though it's raw ore, it's this pure. Even a jeweler would recognize this as top quality, and with this quantity, there's no need to question its profitability. The blonde says now he sees why she was so worried. Lady, she was concerned about her safety, right? Luna says yes. She points at the mercenaries and says they never know. Do they? Soon as they find the gold mine, mercenaries as rough looking as they could stab you in the back. Well, since this request has imperial certification, she trusts that no one here would fail to keep their mouths shut. The mercenaries sob that they aren't really not bad guys. They may look like this, but they are honest folks. Luna says alright, she gets it. Don't cry. If this job ends well, she was thinking of giving each of them a chunk of the ore as a bonus. They ask if she's serious. Luna says yes, so please work hard. They run out saying as if there was any doubt. Luna sighs and says to herself what a handful. Now the only problem is, Luna looks at the blonde and says once they transport the ore samples to the capital and pay the remaining commission, their deal will finally be done, right? The blonde says he's not sure. Luna asks what? Suddenly why? She was planning to give the mercenaries some extra pay. Is he planning to change the contract terms now? The blonde says no, it's not that. It's just her comment about everything being over once the balance is paid. Their relationship shouldn't end there. Sell all of this to the Antares Guild. He'll give her the highest price, and even more. Luna was startled. She asks herself what should she do? Honestly, it's a tempting offer. They have enough power to get Imperial certification. And it's true that finding another buyer of this scale on her own would be difficult. But if she makes a deal with Antares just because of these factors, she'd be walking right into the lion's den. So in that case, Luna says alright, but she has one condition. At the Rodrian Duke's mansion, a man says what? She's saying Lord Fersen isn't he? Syra says today is the day he promised to meet with her. The butler thinks to himself that it seems the young master has left again without a word. The butler says he's sorry, Lady Granada. Lord Fersen had urgent business and had to leave unexpectedly. Syra says butler. She clenches her fist. And the butler says the reason for Lord Fersen's urgent business. Syra says that could it be that it's because of Lady Luna Pelagian? 7. The evil side of the butler speaks up, telling Jillian that he knows how sharp Lady Granada is. If he keeps lying, he will be caught soon enough. It would be better to just tell the truth and feel at ease. The angel side responds that this will not do. He asks if the butler is planning to hurt the feelings of a kind lady. They must keep denying it here and defend the young lord. The devil side asks if he knows how much hair the old man has lost lately because of that scoundrel. The angel side says, but if Lord Fersen ends up getting his engagement broken off because of this, Jillian is going to be fired. The butler clears his throat and states that no, even though the young lord left in a hurry, this matter is absolutely not related to Lady Pallas. Syra responds that she sees. Lately he has been talking so much about Lady Pallas that could not help but be suspicious. Lord Fersen is not the type of person to do that. So she wonders if she is really the one being strange. Even though she is the one engaged to Lord Fersen, she keeps getting worries about Lady Pallas. She wonders what she should do if at this rate she loses not only Lord Fersen's attention but also his heart. The butler tells her to please not worry. Lady Granada, of course, to the young lord, his beloved fiancée is the most important. The reason the young lord often meets with Lady Pallas is merely to show kindness to an old friend out of pity. So she should please try to ease her mind. Syra agrees that he is right. Butler, she will head back for today. The butler sighs and says that at this rate he is really going to die of stress. He wonders about the young lord and what is so special about that palace that he is so hung up on her. The blonde mentions that about the deposit he will be paying this time. If they incorporate the terms she has suggested, it would come out to roughly this amount. Luna thinks to herself that this is too much, but then she clears her throat and says yes. Well, it is about what she expected. The blonde says that now they should go over the terms once more. First, the gold ores will be purchased at the highest market price. Second, the mining personnel will be provided by the Antares Merchant Group, and their identity and competence will be guaranteed. Luna asks lastly if the payment will all be in advance. The blonde confirms that yes, he will prepare the check immediately. He asks by the way if she mentioned that she will be heading to the capital afterward. Luna says yes, she has some business to attend to so she will be leaving right away. The blonde asks if she has arranged a carriage. Luna says no, she still needs to go rent one. She asks herself what she should ride. A gold carriage? A silver carriage? The blonde suggests that she should use one of their merchant group's carriages. Luna responds that she means she would appreciate it, but there is really no need to go this far. The blonde asks why there would not be, telling her that he told her last time. He feels a sense of camaraderie with her. Maybe that is why he keeps wanting to do nice things for her. Luna gets love-bombed and gets all flustered. She says that it is alright. She gets it. They should meet again next time. Then she will be going now. The blonde says yes. He hopes they meet again soon. When he is with her, it is just very enjoyable. The merchant calls out to the chief. The blonde turns and asks what it is. One of them says he understands this is a significant deal, but it seems a bit different from his usual approach. The blonde explains that now the young lady is the owner of one of the largest mines in the empire. Naturally, he needs to stay in her good graces. He cannot afford to offend Lady Pallas and risk having this opportunity snatched away by some riffraff. The man says that as expected, he had a plan all along. Chief, they were too short-sighted. The blonde admits that well, it is true that he was not acting like his usual self. Anyway, Luna Pallas, contrary to the rumors, she had a meticulous and sharp eye. Sensitive to profit and loss, but not just cold and calculating. Above all, she knew how to handle people well. She seemed more like a natural-born merchant than a noble lady. But more than that, Luna rants about how much she hates Fersen and he is a trashy bastard who only brings trouble to others. A selfish person who thinks the world revolves around him. A lunatic who firmly believes he is never wrong. That is a total psycho. The blonde says he is really curious about what happened. The blonde chuckles to himself and says he joked about wanting to make a good impression, but perhaps more than he realized. He might actually start caring about that young lady. Even that fool managed to be useful. Thanks to that fool, he now has a connection with Lady Palace. A merchant informs the chief that a guest has arrived. The blonde turns and asks who it could be, coming here without an appointment. The merchant explains that well, he thought it best that they did not run into Lady Palace, so he had them brought up through the back door. He should see for himself. The blonde thinks to himself that there is no way. As he thought, it is him, Fen Rodrian. The blonde states that he really is the definition of an unwelcome guest. Fen asks if he thinks he is here because he wanted to be. The blonde responds that is why he is asking. What is he doing here? Last time, after brawling with their mercenaries, the blonde scoffs and asks if he did not say he never wanted to see them again. Fen says hey, asking if he thinks he came here to joke around. He already knows everything, so he should just tell him the truth. Fen screams at him, demanding to know if he did not lay a hand on Luna. He screams asking where Luna is. The blonde chuckles and says he has no idea what he is talking about. Fen tells him not to play dumb. Luna traveled to the estate through his merchant group. Where did he hide her? He demands that he give him Luna back now. The blonde asks about his Luna and giving her back. He asks if Fen thinks Lady Palace is his possession. He is starting to understand how the lady feels. It is because he is like that. That Lady Palace despises him so much. Why else would she come to him? Fen insists it is lies and that he must have somehow deceived innocent Luna. Fen yells at him to speak clearly, asking what he did to Luna. Antes Vincent. Antes thinks to himself that dealing with someone who does not listen is such a hassle. Fine, he will tell him the truth. His childhood friend Lady Luna Palace has become quite close with him. Fen startles and asks what. Antes asks if he wants him to tell him more. As they opened up to each other, they developed a trust that goes beyond friendship. Now that he thinks about it, they even spent several nights together. Fen says no way. No, it cannot be true. There is no way Luna would be interested in someone like him. Antes asks what he means by that. Fen yells at him asking what he thinks. Luna said that if she had to choose, she would rather date him, the one rumored to be a psychopath, than him. Antes responds that is so. Well, he thinks he gets the gist of what he is trying to say. But since Fen grabs his sword and says that since Luna would never say something like that, it is clear that this is just one of his dirty tricks. How dare someone like him deceive innocent Luna? He must have manipulated his friend. He will not let this slide today. Antes looks at him swing his sword and asks who said it was okay to wield a sword in his territory. Fen is shocked and asks himself what this is. Antes with his sword in his hands tells him to be careful, that delusions can turn into an illness if they get too severe. He will let it slide today because he is in a good mood. Fen asks himself when he lost control. Antes says but if he spouts that nonsense in front of him again, Antes grabs his sword and breaks it into two. Antes says he will have no choice but to show him what a real psychopath is. Fen is shocked and mentions his precious thing. Fen, all startled, asks himself what this is. What the hell is going on? Luna, does she really like this monster? No, he has to do something. Fen tells him to just wait and see and sprints off with a broken sword. Antes says to himself that it is pathetic. A merchant slams open the door saying there was a loud noise and asks if he is alright. Should he chase after him and give him a scare like last time? Antes says no, instead he should go and wreck the carriage he came in. He should make sure he cannot rent a carriage anywhere in their territory. And as for him, he is heading to the capital. The merchant asks what business he has that is so urgent. Antes says well, he just has some paperwork to finalize with their VIP client. Antes thinks to himself that and what that guy said is also bothering him a bit. Luna Palace. He is looking forward to meeting her again. In the capital, Flory is sitting with her friends. They say that is a really hilarious story. The other woman says right, that it is hard to believe something like that could happen. Flory says oh by the way, have they all heard about that other thing? The girls ask what it is. Flory says what else could it be but Lady Palace's latest wicked deed. The woman asks oh my. Again, that woman never seems to tire of her antics. Flory says that apparently this time she invited Lady Granada over for a meal in her house, claiming she would serve her a meal. The woman says oh dear, what kind of meal could she serve in that decrepit house? Flory says that is not all. She even brought in young Lord Rodrian, and flaunted their friendship to mock Lady Granada. The woman exclaims what and asks if they can really just leave that woman alone. She keeps pushing the limits because Lady Syra is too kind to retaliate. Exactly, they need to step in and help her. Flory says they should calm down. There is no need to rush. Lady Palace will be thoroughly crushed soon enough. Luna thanks the man for bringing her here. The man asks where they are heading next. It is the chief's order, so he will escort her. Luna says in that case, to a place where she can spend her overflowing wealth freely. The man thinks she is so cool. Luna says she is kidding. Now that she has some free time, she thought she would buy a small gift for her family. The man says then how about a famous dessert shop in the capital? It is quite popular among the young ladies these days. Luna says she has not had the chance to indulge in something so luxurious in a while. Luna says alright, they should go there. She hopes father likes it. What would be good gifts for Emma and Laura? Luna looks at a dress and says she has been underestimated quite a bit because of her appearance. It would be wise to start by getting some proper clothes right. Luna asks if there is a high-end boutique nearby by any chance. The man says yes, there are a few places. He says of course. She is looking for the most expensive one. Correct. Luna says he read her mind. The most exclusive boutique in the capital. Luna says wow, it is much grander than she expected. She hopes a single outfit here does not cost as much as a house. Those people, they are not customers. Are they? Where would she find customers that shabby? They must be errand boys and maids. Is this the kind of place where you need a reservation? A customer arrives and they act like they do not notice. The man says well, this is his first time coming here too. A voice is heard saying oh what is that? It is Flory saying that shabby and dull dress. Does it not look familiar? The woman says oh my, she is right. Flory says that Lady Palace's shabby dress is something that just cannot be forgotten. Lady Flory, she has such a keen eye. But what could she be doing here? Even if she sold her entire family's estate, she would not be able to buy anything here. Or maybe she is begging young Lord Rodrian to buy something for her. Oh come on, she would not be that shameless, would she? But she is that vulgar Lady Palace. So who knows? The man says my lady, those people. Luna says there is no need to pay them any mind. What they say will not change what she needs to do. She will take the most expensive dress they have here. Silence erupts, but then they laugh to themselves saying how could someone be so clueless about their own place? What did that poor wretch say who cannot even afford a ribbon? Look at her boasting out of embarrassment. She really knows how to joke. Luna says excuse me. It is noisy, so could they please keep it down? She is here to buy clothes too. The woman asks what she said. The other woman says it is obvious she is just a beggar, but Luna says how about they make a bet? If she really cannot afford even one dress, she will do whatever they tell her to. The woman yells at her saying there is no way. Everyone in the empire knows she is penniless. Where does she get that confidence from? Flory says it is an interesting proposal. Lady Palace. Very well. She accepts the bet. She asked for the most expensive dress here. Did she not? Luna thinks to herself that alright, she took the bait. Luna looks at the maid and says yes, the most expensive one. Just stand there and watch. Flory says the result is obvious. The priciest customer dresses in the boutique. She should go ahead and buy it. They will even lick her shoes if she asks them to. Luna says since it is like this, could they please bring her a catalog as well? The maid says yes. The woman talks about why that woman is so stubborn. Who knows? Maybe she has finally lost her mind. How did she even get here looking like a maid on errand? They give the maid the money and they say yes. She definitely stole the money. That is right. Otherwise, how? The maid tells the manager to check it and the manager says this is a black check only issued to those with the highest credit rating. The manager says that from now on, Lady Palace will be treated as a VIP of their shop. Flory's soul leaves her body. The manager exclaims that all staff should bring out the most exquisite dresses immediately, and all the jewelry and shoes that suit her too. Flory faints, and the manager says first, this is their main product for this season, with lace designs that are entirely new and unique. He recommends the dress for her ebony-like hair. My lady, the rich velvet in a bold color enhances an elegant allure. The one pearl-colored silk dress, adorned with hundreds of crystal. He is sure it will set the trend in the upcoming socials. Luna thinks to herself and says it is hard to pick one by one. Please pack everything they have just shown to her. The maid asks if there is anything else she needs. Luna says yes. A necklace, shoes, and one ribbon. Please make sure she does not miss a thing. The maid says she will prepare them right away. Lady Palace. The woman whispers that she still cannot believe it. She can get a refund after they leave. The other woman says that check could be forged. Luna says oh my, forged. Did she not mention? She has a gold mine that produces enough money to rot. They exclaim a gold mine. Flory screams this person is for real. Enough with the lies already. If she has a gold mine, why does she live like a pauper until now? Luna sighs and says even if she does not want to believe it, this is reality. Luna says by the way, since she has lost the bet, What will she do? She does not really have a hobby of dirtying shoes with saliva. Maybe it is better to change the command. Flory is pissed, and the man says there are many witnesses, so if she does not keep her promise it will be a huge problem. Luna chuckles and says yes, she will stir up some interesting rumors in social circles. The maid says excuse me for interrupting. Her ordered jewelry and shoes are all ready. The dresses will be altered and delivered to the mansion as quickly as possible. Their boutique looks forward to seeing her again. Lady Palace. Luna turns her head and says well then. A boutique that judges people by their appearance. She would not want to come back if she were her. The maid says they will correct this. Luna says oh right. She still has a task for them all. Right. Luna says her command is very simple. Return to their respective mansions from here, however she is forbidden from using a carriage. Without any assistance. They must walk on their own. Flory asks if she is serious. Does she know how far her mansion is from here? Luna chuckles and says does it seem a bit much? Well, there is another option. For the next year, they become her maid. She may not be the most useful maid, if she wishes for it that much. Flory screams asking what she is waiting for. They should go quickly. She cannot stand that woman anymore. Come on, they should go Lady Flory. Luna asks if they shall head back now. The man says yes, he will accompany her. Luna thinks to herself that she must be suffering in those uncomfortable clothes and shoes, right? Well, she brought this upon herself. But even so, she would not go this far just because of a slight at a boutique. It is her own revenge for killing their family's only horse, and for destroying the carriage. They did not stop there. They even hired thugs. It triggered a landslide on the road to the Baron's estate. Because of that, her father has had to endure being hauled around like a burden in a rickety old cart. Because of her father. The father says he will be back, my daughter. Luna says to take care today as well. The father says it is just a bit uncomfortable and he is fine. It is she who he is worried about. He will work hard to get the carriage back quickly. Luna wishes they would stop with their evil deeds, but they have relentlessly tormented her and those around her. They even incited the fire to their mansion, sending threatening letters filled with blood. If she ignores them in this situation, she is sure she will end up like Luna from the original novel. Luna thinks to herself that of course she has no intention of dying quietly, but those who have harmed her family will pay the price first. Now that she has the power and means of money, her counterattack has just begun. Luna reaches her home and opens the door asking Laura if she is still awake. Come out. The father asks if Luna is that her. Luna says oh father, why is he still awake? She said she would be back tomorrow. The father says that he had a feeling his daughter might come, so he was waiting. The father holds his daughter's hand and says Luna, did she come back without any injury? Is she not hungry? Luna says yes, thank you for your concern. The father asks if she came back early because she was short on travel funds. Luna says no, she finished her business earlier. The father asks about business. Luna says actually it is sudden, but she wishes he would quit his job at the Duke's mansion. The dad is startled asking her to quit his job. Is she ill or in need of care? Luna says no father and hands her purse. Luna says he does not need to work for money anymore. She will take care of him. Luna tells him that he does not need to work for money anymore. She will take care of him. The father says but Luna, they cannot become rich overnight. Luna says there is a way to become wealthy overnight. Luna asks if he remembers the estate they sold last time. Actually, she bought that land. A huge gold mine was discovered there. Once proper mining operations start through the consortium soon, they will have a steady, substantial income. The father trembles and says Luna. The father says he is truly sorry for having such an unworthy father. Luna says oh no, please do not say that. The father says that if she had been born into another family, she would not have had to suffer like this. These thoughts will not leave him. The father gets a flashback on Luna's knee. The father panics saying she must be cold. He hopes she has not caught a cold. With mom gone now, Luna must be struggling a lot. He is so lacking in taking care of his daughter. Luna says dad, hug me. When dad hugs she does not giggle. Luna says you know father. She does not think he is lacking at all. She knows how hard her father worked to raise her, so please stop thinking like that. She is here today because of him, and there's one thing she wants to ask. The father says he will do whatever he can. Luna says that she would like him to manage this mine, along that she will also take care of their family, and the things she could not do while raising her. The father's eyes light up and says all right, he will do his best from now on. Luna says thank you for the meal, Emma. Luna says Emma's duck dish is truly the best on the continent. She missed it so much while she was away at the estate. Knowing she had a tiring journey, she will need energy. Emma says Baron left early and could not have breakfast, so she is worried. Luna thinks to herself that she guesses he went to quit his job. If father no longer works for the Duke's household, naturally he will see Fersen less often, right? Luna says oh, she prepared a small gift. Hope she will accept it. Thank you for always cooking delicious meals. Emma asks what? A gift. Emma says but miss things are not easy for her right now. Luna says no, it is all right. Go ahead and open it. Emma says thank you very much. What is inside it? Emma starts sobbing saying that it is worth more than every duck and chicken and pigeon in the empire. She could not accept this stuff. A yell is called out and the butler says that carriages from the boutique keep arriving non-stop. The orders are all in her name and it seems like a scam. Luna says oh so it has arrived already. Do not worry everyone, she ordered it. And she has gifts for both of them. Consider it a token of her appreciation so please accept them. Laura says a gift. The butler says it must be hard with just their salary. They opened it and fainted. Luna tells Laura and Henry to snap out of it. Luna says so it is not a dream, it is not fake and she is not being sold off somewhere. Right. The workers whimper saying but miss. Luna says it is the money she earned by finding a gold mine. Emma says she is so relieved. She has hated how people look down on Baron and her. Henry says that is not all. She might become the richest person in the empire. Laura asks it is not really a dream, right? Luna says of course it is not. She is sorry for surprising her today. She did not expect the boutique to send the clothes so quickly. Laura says that is right. Dresses. She should not just stand there. Hurry up and try them all on. She has to change about 100 times. Emma says she has to spend the whole day with her today. Laura says it is her dream to dress her up like this. Miss. Luna says now wait. She tells them to take their time. Luna looks out and says that carriage looks familiar. Antes says long time no see. Lady Palace. Luna asks why he came to their estate. She thought he would be busy with the gold mine business. Antes says he stopped by because of that actually. There is something to add to the contract. He thinks it is something Lady Palace should see. Is now a good time. Everyone was stunned by his handsomeness. Luna says that he shows up out of nowhere. And now this. It is not a good time. She gets cut off by the glare her workers were giving her so she tells him to please come in. Luna thinks to herself it is absurd that he just barged in. Why did he dress up like that? A flashy brooch, gloves, shoes, and his hair is all done. Is he going on a date? Antes asks why she is always staring like that. Has she fallen for his face? Luna says what? No, not at all. Antes says is that so? What a shame. He was really looking forward to it. Luna asks looking forward to what? Antes says he heard the young lady was interested in him. Was it a lie? Luna is startled and asks she is sorry but what is he talking about? Antes says her name by saying Antes Vincent. Rather than meeting someone like Fersen, she can meet the notorious psychopath Antes Vincent. Did she not say that? Luna says wait, no way. Antes says that is right. The eldest son of the Marquis Vincent, and the head of the Antares Trading Company. Antes Vincent, that is him.